And we are back. Feels so good to be back. Welcome, everyone, to the Anime Secrets Declassified Podcast, JoJo's edition. I am joined by the ever so lively and grass enthusiastic Connor Healy.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And making a second appearance in a row, gratefully gracing us with his presence, the boss himself, Rizwan.
I'm like a rare Pokemon that's shiny, I guess.
Well, if you're playing Pokemon Let's Go, that's not so rare anymore.
I have not played the game yet, but I play Pokemon Go like nobody's business, and they're pretty hard to get.
And you know what else is pretty hard to get? A sample of Bucciarati's blood. But thankfully for the villain of this upcoming fight, he was able to find it laying all over the place thanks to Pesci. That's right, we are talking about the babyface fight of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Guys,
My first word will be oof. My second
Yeah,
word will also be oof.
I am going to straight up start this off with a content warning. Folks, Babyface is a pretty infamous stand because it is based around sexual assault. It is based around kind of an impregnation. We will discuss this later. It doesn't happen quite the way you think it does. They don't show anything graphic, but I do want to, if you are bothered or triggered by that at all, we're putting that up there because we're going to discuss this stand. We're not going to be obviously doing we're not going to linger on it because it's the creation of what happens in the stand. We'll get into it, but again, content warning, sexual assault, impregnation for this episode. Want to get that out there. You can skip ahead. We can edit this with timestamps in post, but I just want to get that out there, folks, because it's squeamish. I'm very squeamish about that stuff. I really don't like it. It was pretty for me to watch. It wasn't it wasn't graphic, but I take this kind of content seriously.
It was kind of cringe for me.
Yeah. So if you're uncomfortable with that, I would encourage you to watch the rest of the episode, but don't be afraid to skip ahead, and
you could skip the first 8 minutes.
Yeah, skip the first 8 minutes if you don't want to see that stuff. No one's gonna blame you. And if you want to skip ahead in this podcast, past that part, we can do something about that as well. We'll maybe we can get some timestamps. But now that that's out of the way, let's continue.
Babyface. Very, very creepy stand. You have to look at the way it's created, but the fact is that the clone itself is just an extension of it. We haven't had an extension stand since Kira's with Killer Queen and then Sheer Heart Attack as an attack. So because I believe the computer was like the actual stand itself.
Yeah, the computer is the stand.
And then Babyface is like the remote extension it got of it. And
basically, yeah.
Let me tell you,
that's what he needs the blood for.
Mm-hmm.
He needs Bruno's blood. What was it again? Was it to be able to track him or just to
track him?
Yeah, he needs Bruno's blood to track him.
Yep. And it led to one of the funniest storybook children books I have ever seen. It's like, oh, you're learning at such a high pace. Good. These are the people you're after. It's like them and cute things. And this is what I need you to do to them. And it just describing killing the squad. It's like so graphic, but so childish. It was pretty funny. I'm not going to lie to you.
So that scene is very akin to what I expect to see if Skynet or one of those other like technological revolutions where machine fights man things happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I expect to see happening whenever that ever happens to the world in real life. Begin something like
So
that.
basically, what we're talking about here, as far as the reason why we have this content warning, the way that this blood sample clone thing works, he needs to find a suitable host, a mother,
Mm-hmm.
to grow this clone out of. So, uh, I always forget these guys' names. What's his name? The pink
Malone.
rosy. Yeah, Melone. So Melone, it doesn't help that Melone is also a gross creep the whole time about this.
No, he
Uh,
got way too overtly
like
excited when he saw the
he
mother
likes his
host.
job too much, and he finds this lovely but very angry, sort of negative woman. She's like, ugh, I don't like this. I'm dissatisfied with, she's very high class, rich, snobby. Like, ugh, everyone on this train is beneath me.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes in and he starts saying, oh, you're such a wonderful specimen. And she's like, who are you? Get out of here. I'm going to get security in here. And her getting angry and her hostility is exactly what he's looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And then what ensues is she turns around and she's trapped by the stand. And Melone goes on and explains what his stand does in quite a creepy way. And then we have a scene cut, if I
Mm.
remember correctly. We have a scene
Yeah.
cut. She's unconscious. Nothing has happened, as far as she can tell. She's not, her clothes are still on. We're not exactly sure what happened, but again, it's
We'll leave it to the
probably worse in the
imagination.
manga.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite as bad as the Fugo thing, which I kind of wish that I did a content warning for the Fugo thing, because that was worse. And it was also, but the Fugo thing was also added in and not quite necessary. This is something that's clearly happening, but again, a lot of people listen to this. Certain people are probably going to react very, very badly to that kind of thing, because it's pretty. It was a tough scene for me to watch, and while I was watching, like, ooh, I hope they cut this soon. I really hope it's not what I think it is. And so eventually,
Yeah.
the lady wakes up, and we see this weird thing on her shoulder, and it turns into a weird little creature.
Mm-hmm. And we get Babyface from that.
Yep.
And
And Babyface is
um,
quite creepy.
almost immediately kills his mother host because he got the murderous vibes from her, which is why Malone was stupidly excited because he saw the mother and he's like, yeah, this is the one that's going to birth this homunculus, this stand, this extension with the killer intent I need to take out
Okay,
Bruno and the gang.
but did she actually have a killer intent? Because I feel like it wasn't killer intent as much as just you see me and you want to do stuff to me that I'm not going to go into detail on, and I'm going to defend myself.
So murderous intent is a translation of a certain sort of, I think the phrase is saki in Japanese. I'm not sure, I'll have to look back, but or no, I think saki is bloodlust. But murderous intent, it's a very specific translation for like a defense mechanism of hey, if that thing is going to try to kill me, I'm going to send a vibe to it saying, I will let myself die in the course of killing it, because that's how determined I am to make it go away before it makes me go away.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the murderous intent translation is.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Defensive hostility might be another more scientific way to pose. But yeah, I instantly got that vibe from the lady.
Yeah.
And
man,
also, as creepy and gross as the babyface stand is, babyface itself does have some pretty good lines, like, "Mommy, kill." Mommy said I'm nasty and gross and hates me. I love mommy.
oh
That
yeah.
was no, please no.
Yeah.
I was also saying please no to the way Babyface attacks, just kind of splits you up into
Mm-hmm.
small things, and you're still alive during all that.
It's like you went through a garlic press,
Yeah.
but like you didn't actually get pressed through. You just got very neatly like a vegetable slice and diced.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And it immediately goes off to hunt the guys down, and almost immediately took out Bruno. Like, man, this is a guy who just went 2 episodes against 2 sand users, and this babyface comes out and immediately bodies him.
Yeah, no, he gets
Yeah.
cubed up pretty bad.
Oh yeah. It leads us to a Giorno fight, which honestly, it's been what, since Man in the Mirror, since he fought as well?
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a while since we've seen him, and I don't know what I was expecting out of the fight, but I know one thing I got was excitement. Because excitement and intensity. Because, whoo, man, like I said in the last episode, they don't have a dedicated healer. Giorno can regrow your parts, like, no doubt. You're still going to be hurting. Like, and he was hurting. He lost his ear. He was still grasping that even after he made a new one. So, and the way Babyface just attacked you, like one touch, like you're vegetable pressed, you're diced, you're done.
Yeah.
I would argue that if it were be able to be used for good, that Tonio could probably make some wicked stir fry using that thing. I mean, that's what I'd use a stand like that for.
Yeah.
Only the cutting part, not any of the other gross stuff. I just want to be able to dice stuff up real nice so I can make a nice stir fry. Anyway, so yeah.
Bro, you can make a lot of nice meals with that.
This was another one of those like nail biter panic factor parts for me in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
it was a very intense fight.
Yeah, no, that was quite intense, but
And honestly, the way the fight ended, it was, pulling off an old. It wasn't through brute strength; it was through cunning. Tricked Babyface into merging with the motorcycle, and then made him glide up. Oh man, that was some slick thinking, Giorno.
Oh yeah.
mm-hmm.
But one of the things, and it leads us to the next episode where we get to the end of the fight. Babyface blows up. Malone, ooh, man, I can't imagine being bitten by a snake. I can't imagine being bitten by a snake on the tongue.
Oh yeah, and that'll kill you pretty quick. I always love the brick snakes.
Right.
Snakes are one of my favorite creatures.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin had a big, awesome boa constrictor that lived a nice full life. And I really like that. I keep seeing Giorno be like, "Oh, well, I found a brick or a rock and I turned it into a snake."
Right. It's like, when did you do that? How did you know where to find the person? And like, I think I'm still questioning that. Like, how did he manage to find Malone? Like, I know he probably deduced it that they must have seen the train, but like keeping the snake long enough on there.
It might have been like because snakes are real good at hunting and have an incredible sense. Their taste is their sense of smell, and then snakes are pretty good at tracking stuff when they want to.
Mm-hmm.
Certain snakes are, and so I'm sure that like he probably just had a really good, really predatory snake.
Right. And that ends the baby face
Yep.
portion of it, which in itself was pretty good. Definitely some content that's not for everyone at the beginning of
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
but we get to what's probably my favorite fight in this show so far.
Oh yeah.
The White Album fight.
Oh yes. White
Ooh,
Album
that was a fun
is
fight.
very good. One of my
And
favorite albums, one of my favorite fights with one of my favorite, if not my absolute favorite thus far, assassin, Ghiaccio.
oh yeah. And someone mentioned it to me, like, whenever he was talking and he got angry for the first time, just like at the most random thing, I'm like, this guy's angry yells sound very familiar to me. And
And
then
what do
someone
you know?
voiced by the same guy who voices Bakugo in My Hero
Yup.
Academia, and I'm like,
Yup.
Oh,
they
really?
nailed the perfect VA for this guy.
Yeah.
I didn't notice
The
that.
the whole time, I was just, come on, just give me at least one.
Mm-hmm. And oh my goodness, just this, like, I knew something was up because I'm like, why is it foggy all of a sudden? And everything is just starting to freeze. And man, we've seen an ice stand before with Pet Shop just throwing icicles around like it was nothing.
Yeah.
The way this dude was just controlling the temperature. Whew. As someone who's still going through winter in my part of the world, winter can go heck off already. Just like, I'm glad it never gets cold enough to where if I put my fingers on glass and I try to pull it off, they rip off me.
Yeah, as some folks know, I'm from Washington and I'm north of Seattle, so I got 2 feet of snow during the whole big snowpocalypse thing that people were seeing on the news. Which 2 feet is a lot of snow for anywhere in general. I mean, obviously not in like upstate New York or Michigan or wherever.
Yeah.
But in
But like
general,
over here, where we're used to just like a lot of rain and stuff, and we don't usually see snow but once a year, 2 feet's the most we've seen in a decade. So yeah. Thanks,
definitely.
everybody. It was really funny because that came out during the snowstorm, and everyone was saying, "White Album, go away. Ghiaccio, leave us alone. Please leave Washington."
Indeed.
And Giorno, up to this point, has had a lot of smart ideas. Brick snakes, uh, fusing part of a motorcycle engine into something else. But what galaxy brain move? What galaxy brain moment did he have to think, wait, this person who manipulates ice, I know, let me go into the water real quick.
Why water of all the things? He's gonna get frozen down there. I remember my first reaction.
Yeah. Like, why? And then in the next episode, which is the entirety of the fight, Giorno goes, oh no, driving into the canal wasn't the smartest idea. You don't
See, you
say,
think.
Giorno. You don't say.
You don't say.
Boy, I say, boy, you probably should have done something different.
And it was at this moment that Giorno realized he done effed up.
Little bit.
And again, we get the 2-on-1 fight between our main character Giorno and resident punching bag Mista. And oh man, just the creativity of it, where there's not much life that can survive in very freezing cold except tundra grass, which is why Giorno was basically incapacitated. He's like, I can't really create anything right now because everything dies in this weather. And then Mista's like, I got this, and a freaking snowboard out of the frozen grass. Like, genius. Genius. And we also see that Giacchio's stand has, while it's powerful, it has a small range. Like, because in order to kind of, well, not small range, but he has very good command of it, and to stop Mista, he unfreezes the canal. And so, again, it became another back and forward, like counter punch, uppercut, block. And so just kind of that whole escape, Giorno frozen in the car, Mista trying to get out there, and you see Giacchio, it's like, I can't fight two people at once. I got to concentrate on one, and if they split up, what do I do? And, oh yeah, we also forgot to mention from the previous episode, they're driving to Venice to pick up a disc. It was shown to them through Moody Blues. The gentleman who handed over Trish kind of gave him that last message saying, hey, pick up this disc. It'll show you where Trish has to go. So that's why they're racing towards the statue. They got to pick up that disc, and that's what Giacchio is going for, because it's not so much that he cares about Trish at this point. It's he knows where that disc leads them is where the boss is at, because the squad is still out to kill the boss. Yep. And they're still out for blood for what happened to Gelato and whatever the other guy's name was.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, they got really good commitment to their goals. I like it.
Yes, they do. And, man, that sequence between Mista and Giacchio on land, that is some of the craziest animation I have seen. A friend showed me what the manga panel of that looked like, and I'm like, Araki, you are a freaking psychopath. Like, how do you come up with that? How?
I don't know.
No, is it at this part? It's not at this part where he does Gently Weeps, is it?
Yeah, no, we're going to that part, because
okay.
Beforehand they're like trying to get into Giacchio's suit because they discover, there's a flaw in there. The issue is how absolute zero means absolute zero. Movement stops.
Yeah.
And so when they go up there and Mista, like, he sees the one weakness there is to it, the breathing hole. And Gently Weeps, aka While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
Yes.
While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
Great song, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah, they got Eric Clapton to play guitar on that. Yeah. Beatles trivia aside, Gently Weeps just deflecting the bullets back to Mista. And Mista still being a madman, like shooting at it. Whew, man. What'd you guys think about that animation?
It was... So, yeah, I like that a lot.
That was wild. I love this whole episode. I was really excited for it because Giacchio is my favorite design of the assassins so far. And this whole part was crazy.
Oh yeah.
It was the bullet deflection, right?
Mm-hmm. Just
Yeah.
like deflecting it back towards him, and Chiakio's thinking like, you keep trying to aim for it, and you're not gonna get it. Like, what are you doing? And then you find out Mista was letting himself get shot so that he could blind kind of the vision of Chiakio, so Giorno can get up on land and finish the
Yep.
job off. And up until this point, Giorno is, he's born from the seed of Jonathan and Dio. He's been more Jonathan up until this point. We saw that Dio ruthlessness in the end here. That exposed pull, and then him just mooting Giacchio's neck right through it.
Muda, 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 muda.
Yeah. No, it was. You see the Dio in him right there, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's Dio's son right
That's
there.
you.
There's
Yep.
Dio.
Yeah.
There's the Dio.
Just some
took him-
hardcore.
It only took 19 episodes to find it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just that, oh man. Like I said, if you are squeamish, this part has probably not been very comfortable for you, because there have been some pretty brutal deaths
Oh yeah.
on at the end of the episode. I don't think I've ever laughed harder when Giorno's healing Mista and Orontia's out looking for them. Just that little cutaway gag. It's like, no, stop her too hard. And Giorno's head bobbing back and forth. They're like, Narantia, do you see anything? Narantia, I don't see anything. And then it cuts. Wake up every time I close
my eyes.
Wake up
feeling
so horny. I died. I'm like, I'm dead.
Freaking Mista's all I need.
Oh, it was.
That
That was great.
I think that one part made the entire episode worth.
It took the episode from like a 9 to a 15 out of 10. Just
Yeah.
Hilarious.
All right. So, if my math is right, we have gone through all of the squadra except the leader of it. And we're about to meet the boss here in the next episode. Also, as of this episode, we are halfway through the series.
Things
We're
are
already
going
halfway
to
through?
ramp up from here considerably.
Oh, yeah. Yep, I believe it's 39 episodes, so we're essentially at the halfway mark now.
Oh wow. Yeah, we are. Okay.
Final thoughts on Babyface and White Album fight, guys.
Babyface, no. White Album, cool.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Connor?
I'm in the White Album camp myself.
Yeah.
Because again,
Mhm.
favorite assassin design.
Mhm.
The stuff with ice is cool.
I hate both of you right now.
And let's see. Oh, also, my favorite, one of my favorite Beatles songs.
Oh yeah, definitely overall awesome fight with White Album. Babyface was more towards the body horror, creepy side of JoJo.
Mhm.
White Album was more towards the tactics fights of it. So it was nice to kind of have a nice kind of blend of the two, because the way they went between the episodes was pretty seamless. I mean, overall, we're at the halfway point. We're about to meet the boss next episode, and we're about to see the main stand itself coming out soon with King Crimson, which I've been told just works, and not to question it.
Well, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
All right. But until that time comes, thank you everyone so much for joining us. As always, it's been a blast, and as always, say goodbye to everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Stay cool.